Alright, so I'm doing an updated version here. This roof line right here you see is about 20 by 35, and that's really all I use. I could have gone out and tapped in these other lines, but I didn't. So I just use this one piece of roof, and believe it or not, with about 1.5 inches of rain, it fills up the 1,100 gallon tanks. The only thing you have to make sure is that gutter line stays nice and clean. Kind of walk here without making you too dizzy with the walking. You can see the downspout just kind of comes down, and I tapped into a 2-inch line. It was a little bit scary drilling that hole, but not too bad. I'm not going to come back here, but I'm going to show you where the overflow is. So when the tanks are full, I need to get rid of the excess. So this is the outside line, and it actually taps into a line that goes out to the back of the property so that it doesn't flood right here. And you kind of go in here, and as you can see, here's that line that comes in. It goes into a 4-inch sanitary tee. I put the sweep like this so that when the water comes in, the heavy stuff, the debris of leaves or pine needles or whatever, will get caught in here, and I can clean it out. From here I can always open this up. If I ever want to drain it down, I've got a valve right here that's tapped into the same line that goes out. But these are just two 4-inch sanitary tees, long sweep, and then I reduced it back down to 2-inch here, and that carries on down. If I ever want to turn it off when it's raining, and I want to service the tanks or whatever, I can always close that valve, and that'll just kind of fill in here, and I can open that valve, which will then just bypass the entire inside system. It comes over here. This is after it's gone through the sanitary tees. This line comes into the top of the tank, and it's actually epoxied in, so it's never coming out. This is a $20 tank I got on Craigslist. Excuse my voice, it's a little bit harsh right now. And the water is then pushed out this line over here. So if you look, this line on the right is higher, so it creates enough pressure that it just kind of pushes it right out the top, and then it comes across and into the top of the tank. It's pretty straightforward. That filter I put in as a, to try to do a last minute filter. It did not work like wanted. It actually caused too much of a backup, so it just wasn't worth it. I just took it out, so it's just been like that ever since. In fact, the filter's somewhere around here. I don't even use it. It's just water cylinder, nothing. Anyway, this right here is a shower drain. So I basically cut a hole at the top of the tank to the desired level, and then I just siliconed it on. It's got a fitting on the inside, and I just let that dry, and then when the tank gets to here, it just runs down there. And then this is also to drain the sediment tank. If I ever want to drain this blue tank, I can open this valve right here, and I periodically will empty that tank. And then here it goes out, and then here's this other valve. If I want to drain the tee here, I can do that. But this always pretty much stays closed, and this will all stay full of water up to there, and then the water will run through there. But if I ever need to get in there and clean that out, I will. Going back to the tanks, here's another valve. If I ever want to drain the tanks all together, this is what this valve is tapped into there. And this line is level all the way down to all 4 tanks. I can't show you because it's all debris, but there's a scaffolding blocking it. That's what that yellow thing is. But these 4 tanks are on a pad that I made sure was perfectly level, so they evenly fill up. So the water comes in this first tank, goes out that fitting. And when you get these tanks, if you decide to go this route, this opening is not kosher to PVC or any thread that I could find. So I basically just took a 2-inch coupling and just JB welded the thing on, and that gave me something to attach to with the 2-inch. So this is just a 2-inch PVC line. I got at Lowe's, and I did that all the way down. Of course, there's a valve on there, so if I ever needed to just turn off one tank, I could. I never have. This line comes down, and there's a shut-off valve if I ever want to just work on the pump. So I would definitely, if you're going to do this, make sure you have a cutoff to get to your pump, because if you ever have a pump issue, the last thing you need to do is have water coming out. The line comes in. This has got an adapter on the front of the pump, and then this is a 1 horsepower Craftsman pump. It's got 220 service right there on the top right in the yellow line. And then here I'll zoom in so you can get the part number if you decide you want to go this route. So basically it comes in, it's got its own pressure regulator and everything, so it's pretty cool. And with just a pump on the irrigation system, I found that it actually short cycled because it wouldn't stay even pressured on the sprinkler. So I put this 35-gallon pressure tank. So the pump actually services the tank, and my irrigation system then works off of the tank itself. And as you can see, I just tapped it in on the other side of the wall there into my irrigation. I just cut off the street. I didn't really completely cut the street off because if I don't get any rain, I can always turn that off and turn the street back on, and vice versa. So nothing serious there. But basically this is what it looks like. I noticed people were commenting on how I did things, and I just thought I'd do an update. But this is the latest thing I just put in yesterday. Not too much. I think total cost for 1,100 gallons, I am looking at about just a little over $1,000. PVC has gotten really expensive. The pump I think was $300. The tank was I think another $300. Those were the two biggest expenses, was the pressure tank and the pump. But the tanks were actually really cheap. You can get those also on Craigslist for 70 bucks. I've seen them as low as 55. And those tanks are actually what they used to feed pigs with. They call them totes or whatever. You can get all kinds of names. And that little blue barrel I also got on Craigslist for 20 bucks. So if you just kind of price it out right, you can get it relatively cheap. I will tell you that my water bill rather, was really high before this, and now I don't even go over the minimum. So this has been a life savings. I will also tell you that watering my garden with rainwater has been amazing. The tomatoes, they are sweet. There's no acid taste to them. So if there's any bonus out of the whole deal, it's the vegetables taste amazing. So it's pretty nice to have. And thanks for watching. And feel free to leave comments if you have any ideas or concerns or questions. I'd be more than happy to help if I can. Have a great evening. Bye.